Imagine a world where your dinner plate sparks a debate touching on ethics, environmental survival, personal health, and even ancient religious texts. That's the world of veganism, a movement often misunderstood, fiercely defended, and critically challenged. Today, we're diving deep into these complexities. We'll explore the science, the philosophy, and the surprising truths behind this polarizing topic. Stay with us as we unfold these layers, and if you find this journey insightful, please consider subscribing to our channel Unfold for more in-depth analyses. This video aims to delve deeper into these multifaceted arguments, drawing upon broader academic research and scientific discourse to provide a comprehensive and balanced perspective on the ethical, environmental, health, and religious dimensions of veganism. At the heart of the vegan philosophy lies a profound ethical concern for animal welfare. Ethical veganism, as highlighted by organizations like Animal Ethics and the French Vegetarian Association, is fundamentally driven by the moral opposition to the exploitation and suffering of non-human animals. This perspective often traces its roots back to Enlightenment philosophers who first articulated the idea of not inflicting suffering upon sentient beings. However, some critical perspectives challenge this ethical stance by invoking the concept of natural predation. It argues that the consumption of animals is a natural and even divinely ordained aspect of ecological balance. This raises a crucial philosophical question. Does the existence of predation in nature justify human consumption of animals, especially when humans possess the capacity for choice and alternative food sources? While predation is indeed a fundamental aspect of many ecosystems, human agricultural practices, particularly industrial farming, differ significantly from natural predator-prey dynamics. The scale of suffering and the conditions under which animals are raised and slaughtered in industrial systems are often cited by ethical vegans as morally indefensible, moving beyond mere natural processes. The debate extends to the very definition of suffering and exploitation. Vegan ethics often emphasize the sentience of animals, their capacity to feel, perceive, and experience sensations, including pain and pleasure. This capacity, they argue, confers upon animals a moral status that demands consideration and protection from unnecessary harm. The video's counter-argument, rooted in a natural law perspective, suggests that human dominion over animals is part of a larger, inherent order. This ethical tension between animal rights and anthropocentric views remains a central, unresolved aspect of the vegan discourse. Beyond ethics, the environmental impact of dietary choices is a significant driver for many adopting veganism. The prevailing narrative often suggests that plant-based diets are inherently more environmentally friendly than those including animal products. Research supports this to a considerable extent. Studies indicate that vegan diets can lead to significantly lower greenhouse gas emissions, land use, and water consumption compared to meat-heavy diets. For instance, some studies suggest a vegan diet can emit 75% less greenhouse gases than a high-meat diet. However, various studies and other sources introduce important nuances. It points out that veganism is not without its own environmental footprint, particularly concerning the industrial production of certain plant-based foods and processed vegan alternatives. The cultivation of some plant crops, such as almonds or avocados, can be water-intensive, and the global transport of exotic fruits and vegetables contributes to carbon emissions. Furthermore, the production of highly processed vegan substitutes can also have a substantial environmental cost, dueling with energy and resource consumption in manufacturing. The environmental debate is therefore more complex than a simple plant versus animal dichotomy. It necessitates a holistic view that considers not just the type of food, but also its origin, seasonality, processing, and transportation. Sustainable agriculture, whether plant-based or incorporating animal products, emphasizes local sourcing, reduced waste, and ecological farming practices. Ultimately, the environmental benefit of veganism is maximized when it prioritizes whole, locally sourced, and minimally processed plant foods. The health implications of a vegan diet are another area of intense discussion. Proponents often highlight the benefits of increased fiber intake, lower saturated fat, and a reduced risk of chronic diseases such as heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and certain cancers. A well-planned vegan diet, rich in fruits, vegetables, legumes, nuts, and seeds, can indeed be nutritionally adequate and provide numerous health advantages. However, various nutritional studies raise valid concerns about potential nutrient deficiencies. The most commonly cited deficiencies in vegan diets include vitamin B12, iron, calcium, vitamin D, iodine, and omega-3 fatty acids. Vitamin B12, crucial for nerve function and red blood cell formation, is primarily found in animal products, making supplementation almost universally necessary for vegans. Iron and calcium, while present in plant foods, can be less bioavailable, requiring careful dietary planning to ensure adequate intake. Pregnant women and children on vegan diets require particularly meticulous nutritional oversight to prevent developmental issues. The key takeaway from a health perspective is that a vegan diet is not inherently healthy or unhealthy. Its nutritional adequacy depends entirely on careful planning and, often, strategic supplementation. Healthcare professionals and dietitians generally advise vegans to be aware of these potential pitfalls and to regularly monitor their nutrient levels to ensure optimal health. One of the more provocative arguments gaining traction in scientific circles is the concept of plant sentience. This idea challenges the traditional view of plants as purely passive organisms. Recent scientific research has indeed revealed astonishing complexities in plant behavior. Studies show that plants can communicate, respond to their environment, exhibit memory, and even engage in complex decision-making processes. They react to light, touch, gravity, and chemical signals, and some research suggests they can perceive sounds and odors. Electrical signals, similar to those in animals, play a role in information integration within plants. However, it is crucial to distinguish between complex biological responses and conscious sentience as understood in animals. While plants exhibit remarkable adaptive behaviors, the scientific consensus does not equate these with the capacity for pain or conscious experience in the same way that animals with nervous systems do. The debate over plant sentience remains an active area of research, pushing the boundaries of our understanding of life. But it does not currently undermine the fundamental ethical arguments for veganism based on animal sentience. Finally, we turn to religious perspectives, specifically within Islam, regarding the consumption of meat. Islamic texts and traditions assert that Islam permits and even encourages the consumption of meat, thereby implicitly challenging veganism from a theological standpoint. Indeed, Islamic dietary laws, known as halal, explicitly outline permissible foods, including various types of meat, provided they are slaughtered according to specific ritualistic guidelines. The Quran, for instance, mentions the permissibility of consuming certain animals and their products as a blessing from God. The sacrifice of animals during Eid al-Adha is a central practice, further underscoring the role of meat in Islamic tradition. While Islam emphasizes compassion towards animals and prohibits cruelty, it does not forbid their consumption. The emphasis is on humane treatment and lawful slaughter. It is important to note that while religious texts permit meat consumption, they also often encourage moderation and discourage waste. The mainstream interpretation within Islam is that a vegan diet is not a religious requirement and, in some interpretations, might even be seen as going against established practices. However, individual Muslims may choose a plant-based diet for health or environmental reasons, as long as it does not contradict fundamental religious tenets. In conclusion, this critical examination of veganism, expanded upon through academic research, reveals a complex interplay of ethical, environmental, health, and even religious considerations. While the ethical imperative to reduce animal suffering is a powerful motivator for many vegans, the concept of natural predation offers a counter-narrative that prompts deeper philosophical inquiry. Environmentally, while plant-based diets generally offer benefits, the nuances of industrial agriculture and global supply chains demand a more sophisticated understanding of true sustainability. From a health perspective, a well-planned vegan diet can be highly beneficial, but it necessitates careful attention to nutrient intake and potential supplementation. The emerging science of plant behavior, while fascinating, does not currently equate to animal sentience in a way that negates the ethical arguments for veganism. Finally, religious traditions, such as Islam, provide frameworks that permit meat consumption, though individual interpretations and choices may vary. Ultimately, the decision to adopt a vegan lifestyle is a deeply personal one, influenced by a myriad of factors. A comprehensive understanding requires moving beyond simplistic narratives and engaging with the scientific, ethical, and cultural complexities that define this evolving dietary and lifestyle choice. Thank you for joining us in this academic discussion.